Peter Parker is struggling to balance his double life as a mild-mannered photographer and as the heroic vigilante Spider-Man. The woman of his dreams is with another man. His best friend wants revenge against Spider-Man, and his scientist idol, Otto Octavius, had an experiment go tragically wrong, causing him to become the evil Dr. Octopus. It's a lot for one person to handle, and it's causing Peter to doubt his powers and wonder if he could ever have a normal life in the critically acclaimed 2004 sequel, Spider-Man 2. I'm Connor Eyzaguirre.
I'm Colton Jenkins.
And this is Filmgazm. Welcome to the Filmgazm podcast. Colton, this episode was your pick, and I assume it came from how blown away you were by Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, I didn't listen to the episode you put out about Across the Spider-Verse because I wanted to hear it from your mouth firsthand about how you felt about it. But no joke, and I will not be apologetic. I think, personally, Across the Spider-Verse is the best superhero movie ever made.
Damn.
Yeah.
That is high praise. Yeah, it certainly set the bar. It's very ambitious, very exciting, very emotional, very unforgettable, and animated just incredibly. One of the most well animated films I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, for sure. It's gonna be a huge success. It's already doubled its money in like 2 days, which is pretty incredible. And I'm looking forward to part 3. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, I didn't think that they could get better than the first movie. But like as soon as in the beginning of the movie when Gwen hugs her father and her like room lights up, I knew that this movie was special.
Yeah. I want to spotlight some scenes too, but I don't want to spoil it for anybody out there who wasn't expecting to hear about Across the Spider-Verse here. Go check out. Yeah, Caleb and I did a first thoughts on Across the Spider-Verse a few days ago. Go check that out if you want to hear what we have to say. But suffice it to say, it lives up to the hype.
Definitely.
Yeah. I've always been a huge fan of Spider-Man. Spider-Man and Batman are the two superheroes I pretty much grew up with and had, watched all the movies, had comic books, had the video games, had action figures. Like these were my go-to guys. And Spider-Man, I think more so than even the X-Men movies, showed that Marvel superhero movies not only don't have to suck, but can be fucking awesome. Because at the time, like DC controlled the film market for quite a while with, since the 70s with Superman. And then in the 80s with Batman. Marvel had Howard the Duck in 1986 and Blade in 98. Apart from that, like they had a failed Fantastic Four movie in the 90s that never even got released. And then X-Men came along, was a huge success, and that opened the floodgates for Spider-Man. And then, you got Daredevil and Fantastic Four and Elektra and Ghost Rider. So it wasn't smooth sailing. Punisher, yeah. But then we got to, the MCU and the rest is history. But, Spider-Man's one of those films that laid the foundation for Marvel to grow as a film company. And Raimi delivered a pretty solid trilogy. People have issues with Spider-Man 3. I get it. I like it more every time I watch it, but that first viewing in 2007, I was pretty damn disappointed. But yeah.
I
watched it.
They did Venom dirty, man. They really fucked up Venom.
They really did. That wasn't Sam Raimi's fault, though. That was the studio saying, you're putting Venom in the movie. And Raimi's like, I want to do Sandman and the second Green Goblin. And they're like, great. You're also doing Venom. He's like, I don't want to do it. And they're like, shut the fuck up. You're doing Venom. So that's why Venom feels so, shoved into that movie. Yeah. Eventually we did get a decent Venom. So I'm willing to forgive now.
Yeah, people give the Venom movies shit, and I don't understand why. Like, they're goofy, but they're good. Venom is goofy. Like, he's vicious, but there's no way to do that character and not make it weird.
I mean, I'm just happy they were able to make a decent Venom movie without Spider-Man. And Tom Hardy is a big part of that, and just, embracing the weirdness of this character is the only way to go. So, go for it.
I'm very excited for when they do eventually meet.
I really hope we do get to see that someday. That would be awesome. We got cock teased at the end of Venom 2, and never got that one. So here's hoping. I said this recently. I think it was on the Across the Spider-Verse episode, but I hope Venom 3 and Spider-Man 4 are the same movie.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah, just release it twice. You'll make double money.
It'll be called Spider-Man 4 Venom 3.
I would admire like the balls it would take to release a film with that title. So before we get really started here, I wanted to focus my question on one specific character in this franchise. Mary Jane Watson. So, I'm assuming you've seen these movies multiple times. You're very familiar with these films.
Yes.
Do you consider her, in the context of the 3 Raimi films, to be a good person?
No, she is such a horrible person, man. She jumps from guy to guy, and like she knows, like at the end of Spider-Man of this movie, she knows what she's getting into. She's like, I don't care that you're Spider-Man. I want to be with you. And then in the 3rd movie, she gives him shit for being Spider-Man. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Make up your mind. It's awful, man.
I read a post once that pointed out that in these films, she has a problematic attraction to power.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
Like, let's go through her men from 1 to 3. All right. First up, Flash Thompson, most most popular guy in school, athlete, presumably pretty strong till Peter Parker punched him across a hallway.
Yes.
Who's next? Harry Osborn, son of famous billionaire inventor Norman Osborn. He's clearly got money. One day going to have power. Cool. Who's next? John Jameson, world famous astronaut, son of a great newspaper man. Clearly, successful. And who's next? Fucking Spider-Man.
Yep.
It's like, holy shit. No disrespect to Kirsten Dunst or her performance. She's good. The character is horribly written.
Yeah.
As just a terrible like partner. Because she's, Mary Jane in the comics and MJ in the Tom Holland trilogy, very supportive, helpful, always, in his corner doing the right thing.
Yes.
This Mary Jane is totally, just manipulative and I feel bad for John Jameson, who's clearly in love, and she's just using him to hurt Peter for
he
reasons.
Was like he was the most like, I don't know, not background character. He was just completely oblivious to everything that was going on. He's just he didn't do anything wrong, that poor guy.
He's the movie wants you to hate him because he's not Peter, but he's not a bad dude. Like, he's a nice guy. He doesn't deserve to be left at the altar like that. I was hoping, because I don't know if you're aware of this, but in the comics, he's a pretty big villain.
I knew he's a villain. I just don't know who he becomes.
He's the man wolf.
Okay, yeah.
He finds a gem on the moon that turns him into a werewolf.
That's right, yeah.
Would have been cool if the villain in part 3 is like all of her hurt boyfriends. It's like Harry, John Jameson is the man wolf, Flash shows up as Venom.
That would have been cool, actually, honestly. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
Isn't it that one where like J. Jonah Jameson realizes that Spider-Man is a good guy or something when he fights his son? Or there's one where there's an alternate universe where Spider-Man is J. Jonah Jameson's son or something like that. I don't know.
Probably. I know there's an issue where like Peter reveals his identity to Jameson, and all of a sudden Jameson's like in his corner. He's like, Parker, I knew it.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yes.
But yeah, there's variations. They what if stories and all that shit. They go all over the map. But I've always had a problem. I always feel like Peter can do better in these movies.
He definitely can. And dude, oh my God, in this movie when she tells her boyfriend to lay down on the couch so she can kiss him upside down. That was gross, dude. And I was like, ew, don't fucking pretend that he's Spider-Man. That's gross.
But
Ew.
he doesn't even like. He's completely unfazed. He's like, "Whoa, I'm back on the moon."
Yeah.
Like, dude, read between the lines. Ah, yeah. I obviously because it's it's Spider-Man. He's gonna end up with Mary Jane, but he should have been with his neighbor lady who brought him a piece of cake when he needed it the most.
I know, man. She was so nice.
Yeah, clearly into him too. Like not even hiding
Oh
it.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, dude. Ah. Anyway, I couldn't think of a good question for Spider-Man, and I was just like, let's just tear down Mary Jane.
Yeah.
Someone needs to do it. God damn it.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What makes Spider-Man one of your top two? Why Spider-Man?
Caleb and I kind of went through this in the Across the Spider-Verse episode too. It's the relatability.
No.
He's just a guy who happened to be bit by a radioactive spider, happened to get these powers, and wants to do the right thing. And he's not rich. He's not, an alien. He's not all powerful. He's just a kid from Queens with a shitty photographer job, making it paycheck to paycheck while also saving the city.
Yeah.
And I like that. I like the idea of just some guy stepping up and doing the right thing, which is what a lot of Marvel's characters are about. DC's characters are mostly just like gods who are destined for glory, but Marvel's characters are very much like accidents who want to make something out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I also like how, not to be like edgy, but out of most Marvel superheroes, he goes through the most. Like, he's the one I feel like struggling with some of the hardest shit people have to deal with. And it's like a big deal. Like his secret identity. I'm trying to think of other superheroes whose identity is as big of a deal as Spider-Man's, but I can't think of any. Because people will go after his family because just of how wholesome Peter Parker is as a person.
Well, I think that happened once in the Civil War arc where like Iron Man forced him to reveal his identity and people immediately attacked Aunt May.
Yep.
Ah,
he had to fake his death and everything too.
Damn. Mm-hmm. But I like, like you said, Spider-Man goes through some shit. He loses a lot of people. He struggles with relationships, with career, like because Spider-Man is always the calling he can't ignore.
Yeah.
But he's always doing it with a smile. He's always optimistic about it. Like he doesn't let the tragedy break him.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that I really like about Spider-Man.
Yeah. His jokes too, man. Like they're so good. He doesn't shut up. And I love that about him.
One of my favorite like little pictures I saw was Iron Man and Batman having a cash fight where they're like throwing money at each other. And in the third panel, Spider-Man swoops in and starts picking the cash up off the floor.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I read somewhere once that Spider-Man got published like by accident. Stan Lee and Jack Kirby made the first like Spider-Man comic. I think it was Amazing Fantasy number 15. They were giving it to the Marvel chiefs and they were like, Spider-Man, this sounds stupid. We don't want this. They won't even look at it. So he snuck it into the next issue of X-Men that they were going to review.
Ooh.
And when they were reading it, they suddenly started reading Spider-Man and like, huh, this is pretty good. And the rest is history.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
That's
became the face of the whole company.
Because he fucking deserves it, dude. I saw somewhere that there's like a rule when like creating characters. I think it's called the silhouette rule, I think. But if you have a character who if you can identify them with their silhouette, you've created a good character. But the thing that's cool about Spider-Man is his silhouette is so plain and ordinary, like anyone can see themselves in Spider-Man, which is, I know it's like a big like theme of the Spider-Verse trilogy. But yeah, I just think that's so cool, man.
Yeah. Yeah. What is it? The suit doesn't make the man makes the suit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. And it is cool. There's so many different versions of the character, so many different versions of the costume, and I like that the Spider-Verse movies are getting to show
Yeah.
these versions, which is cool. I never knew about Indian Spider-Man before.
Yeah, he was cool. He was cool.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite suit?
Favorite suit. Um, I've always really liked the Scarlet Spider.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Yeah, I love the idea of a clone who just decides to be his own person.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty sweet. Um, yeah, I like pretty much every version of the character that I've seen.
Yeah.
It's all even Spider Ham. I have a affinity for.
Spider.
My favorite one though was in my current favorite one was in Across the Spider Verse, and it was Peter Parked Car.
Yeah, yeah. It was like this Spider Mobile or something. He had to have a car, and then they were like, "Wait, why the fuck does Spider Man have a car?"
I nothing in terms of like ridiculous vehicles for superheroes. Nothing will ever beat the Thanos copter.
What I did not know that was a thing.
Oh boy. Okay. In the 70s, they these were weekly stories. They had to get them out fast, so they weren't always top quality. You can't write a masterpiece in a week. You can't do it.
Oh
So
god.
there's a couple issues where Thanos is attacking New York, and the Avengers defeat him, and he's like, "Curses! I'll get you next time, you meddling heroes!" And he takes off in this helicopter that's called the Thanos copter. It says Thanos on the side.
Yeah. Oh, that's fucking brilliant.
You can see it in the background of one of the episodes of Loki.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
That's great. My all-time favorite panel, it might be from the same series of issues. Thanos getting arrested by the NYPD. They are literally leading him away in cuffs to a squad car.
No, man.
This guy who can rip the universe in half with a snap of his fingers is getting arrested by two cops.
Pride of New York City, baby.
If Endgame ended with Thanos getting arrested and like put in Rikers, greatest movie of all time.
It ended the way Monty Python and the Holy Grail ended. They break it up. Like everyone go home.
Before the two armies can meet, the fucking cops show up and just start arresting everybody.
Oh man, that would have been wonderful, dude.
Oh, that's fantastic. All right. Let's get a bit into the production history here. Pretty straightforward production. Spider-Man 2 was greenlit almost immediately after the first one came out. Columbia and Sony were like, yeah, we're making more of these.
As they should.
Yeah, pretty obvious. Sam Raimi returned to direct. The entire cast reprised their roles. There was no recasting in any of these. It's the same people throughout, which is surprisingly rare for movies like this. Usually there's like one or two people who don't want to come back.
No.
The story went through several drafts, including one where Doc Ock is a young man in love with Mary Jane. They decided not to do that. I think basically they were going to combine Doc Ock and the John Jameson story into one character who like assaults some some thugs and freaks out Mary Jane. And this was interesting. There was another one where he was the creator of the spider who bit Peter in the first film.
Ooh.
Yeah. Doc Ock was the guy who was making those genetically engineered super spiders that nobody in that facility seemed very concerned about.
Dude, I just watched the first one and they were like, hey, one of them is missing. And she's like, oh, they're probably working on it or something. I don't know. But anyway, let's go on. Let's move on.
I feel like if you're taking a field trip to the genetic super spider lab and one of the genetic super spiders is missing, that should probably be cause for alarm.
Yeah, man.
My favorite thing about the first movie is where Peter Parker, a very smart scientific child or teenager or 30-year-old playing a teenager, he gets bit by a spider at the genetically super engineered spider place and doesn't tell anybody. Doesn't tell his teacher, doesn't tell the scientist, doesn't tell his aunt and uncle. Nobody. Keeps that shit to himself, doesn't go to the hospital, and he wakes up with 8-pack abs. He no longer needs his glasses.
Yeah, you think that, and also his reaction just like, oh, sweet, nice, dude, yeah. And then he like parkours down the stairs.
Yeah, And then I saw a supercut where like the parkour, but then he like kicks Uncle Ben in the face. It was funny as hell. But anyway, that whole day is him like finding out like, huh, webs are shooting out of my arm. Huh, I can walk up walls. And he's not like alarmed at any of that.
Nope. And he's like, whoa!
Yeah,
That
it's like,
fucking meme now. Yeah.
I love that. He's like, oh shit, I can leap tall buildings in a single bound.
Wouldn't it be funny if he, like, he still becomes Spider-Man, but he's allergic to, like, the spider bite, so he has, like, anaphylaxis, like, this whole time?
I would love if he never figured out the web slinging and he's just constantly leaping across New York. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Doc Ock was the scientist who made the spider. They decided to not do that. Made Doc Ock a colleague of Dr. Connors who was working with Harry, and just your average scientist.
I'm so upset he wasn't in the movies. They even when they show Dr. Connors, they mention him in the first movie and they mention him in the second movie, or he's actually in the second movie, and he's even missing an arm.
Yeah, weird thing is like Raimi's original treatment for Spider-Man 4 also did not include the lizard.
What was he going to do for the fourth movie?
It was going to be the Vulture and the Black Cat.
Mm.
John Malkovich was going to be the Vulture, and Anne Hathaway was going to be Black Cat. Like they were well into pre-production before they decided to cancel the film.
Damn, man.
Yeah. And weirdly, Anne Hathaway ended up playing Catwoman, so kind of funny.
Yeah.
But still, no lizard. Like 4 movies and no lizard. That's just not cool.
Yeah, I know. I thought I saw somewhere that they were gonna like finish off, like they were gonna give each of the Spider-Man a movie again.
Nah, that's just wishful thinking. I don't think that'll ever actually happen, which sucks.
Yeah.
I always assumed, for 4, that little piece of venom that Dr. Connors kept, that was going to be his like binding agent for his lizard serum, and that's what was going to turn him into the lizard.
Man, that would be fucking awesome.
All the pieces are right there. Like it was perfectly set up for a lizard movie. And no, we got the Amazing Spider-Man version, which isn't bad. It's not the lizard I wanted.
Yeah, no, he's kind of cheesy in that movie, honestly.
Yeah. Well, also it's like, I waited 3 movies for Dylan Baker to be the lizard. Like I like Rhys Ifans, but you're not who I wanted. Would have been cool if in No Way Home, like the lizard who gets sent to that dimension is Dylan Baker.
Oh, dude,
that would have been sweet.
That would have been so cool.
No. Ultimately, Raimi consulted with screenwriter Alvin Sargent on a story that explored Peter in the midst of an existential crisis, drawing inspiration from 1980's Superman 2, where Superman is, wants to be Superman, but is also in love with Lois Lane. And because made up movie reasons, he can't do both. And gives up his powers right when General Zod and company show up to take over Earth. And yeah, it's pretty sweet. Superman 2 is pretty good. But I always wonder, like, you're the superhero with powers. Can't you, protect her from the bad guy? I mean, look, Mary Jane's already getting kidnapped before she even knows Peter's Spider-Man. Exactly. She's already in danger all the time.
Yeah. You live in New York, man.
Which is always a small city in these movies. It's like everybody knows everybody. All the bad guys are already connected to Peter Parker before they even become bad guys.
Yeah.
I always find that funny. I've been to New York. Like, it is a very big place. You do not run into the same person like 3 times in one day. That's not going to happen.
Exactly. It's very big, but also like the amount of shit that happens in the Spider-Man movies, nobody would live there anymore.
If supervillains were real and were constantly taking over cities or stealing, nukes and threatening to blow shit up, everyone would move to the Midwest.
Yes. Yeah.
The cities would be barren. It'd be like Escape from New York. Nobody would want to live there in a place where, the Green Goblin can just throw a pumpkin bomb at you and the whole goddamn crowd disintegrates.
Yeah, man. Who decided to let this man make a sun in his lab in Manhattan?
there's no oversight committee on this. Like there,
I know.
I feel like don't you have to get permits for a fucking fusion bomb? I mean, just pitching that idea has got to be like, no, you do that shit in a field somewhere.
Exactly.
You don't do that in Midtown. Holy
He was like, no. I'm not miscalculating. This sun is gonna be fine.
Like even if it had succeeded, smoothly, there's still a sun in the middle of New York City.
Exactly.
That's it is fun. There was no long-term goal here. There was just make the sun. And Ock did not think beyond that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do love how just completely unprepared everybody was for that scenario. Yeah, we'll get to that though. So I have some interesting trivia here. Okay. Tobey Maguire very nearly didn't reprise his role as Peter Parker.
Oh shit! What?
It was very close. Like they had already recasted close.
Oh man.
So he had initially signed a 3-picture deal back in 2000, but on the set of Seabiscuit, an old back injury flared up and got way worse. And Raimi learned that if Maguire if he injured his back again, there was a very good chance he was going to end up paralyzed. So they didn't want to take the risk. He wasn't insurable. So they were like, maybe we should go ahead with somebody else. So they cast Jake Gyllenhaal as Peter Parker. And the reasoning, one of the studio execs said, they look so similar, no one will tell the difference.
Okay, people will tell the difference, but okay.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. It was like, no, if you watch more than one film, you can see that they're not the same person.
Exactly. I will say though, that is good casting.
Yeah, 2004 Jake Gyllenhaal definitely would have been a very good Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But 2019 Jake Gyllenhaal, way better Mysterio.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah.
So thankfully, Raimi ultimately decided to keep Maguire and give him the time he needed to heal properly before starting production. And by the time production rolled back around, Maguire was fully healed. He even did some of his own stunts. And they put a joke to his back problems in the movie where he falls off the fucking building. It's like, my back. Yeah, it became a joke. I also love in that scene that Peter has not had spider powers for a while. And instead of like, I don't know, maybe trying to leap across the yard or something, he goes straight for apartment building.
Yeah, he and then he jumps off again and then he fucking fails. I want to know how he hasn't gone to the hospital yet.
Yeah, that should have fucking killed him.
Yes.
I mean, I get it if you're falling off a building and you're Spider-Man, but when you're not Spider-Man, you're just a guy falling off a 20-story building.
Exactly. Yeah. He should have died.
Yeah, there's a lot of injuries in these movies people just walk away from.
Except in the third one when James Franco fucking that head injury. Every time I see that scene, I'm like, oh fuck, that when he's flying and he hits his head on the beam and he like does a fucking flip. Oh.
I watched Spider-Man 3 earlier today, and I had forgotten how many times he gets hit in the head in that movie.
A lot.
Like at least 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3. I want to do a full episode on Spider-Man 3 at some point because there's so much to unpack about that. It's a good movie and a terrible movie at the same time.
Oh man.
Yeah. So before landing on Alfred Molina as Dr. Octopus, Raimi considered several actors, including Ed Harris, who probably would have been a little too intense.
Yeah.
Chris Cooper, who would later play Norman Osborn in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, very briefly. Okay. And Christopher Walken.
Bro. I don't know about that one, man. Not gonna lie.
The power of the sun in the palm of my hand.
Yeah, I don't know.
Worth it. 100% worth it. Oh, shit. But Alfred Molina ended up getting the role. I like that across the board for the villains of all 3 movies, Raimi went for character actors over movie stars.
Exactly. Yeah.
Gave us great characters. Willem Dafoe, Alfred Molina, and Thomas Hayden Church were all perfectly cast as their characters. And then there's Topher Grace as Venom because the studio was like, you need Venom.
Awful choice there.
I know. It ruined Spider-Man 3 and that 70s show at the same time.
Who would you have played Spider-Man in that time period?
Well, I'm good with Toby, but
Sorry, Venom.
okay, I thought that's what you meant, but I wasn't sure.
Sorry.
All right. 07 Venom. I'm thinking, my familiarity with Eddie Brock at that point was the Spider-Man PlayStation 1 video game and the animated series that was on WB or Fox, one of those. So Brock was a beefy, big dude, not this lanky little slime ball. Like I'm thinking like Thomas Jane, maybe.
That would have been good. Thomas Jane would have been good.
He would have been cool. I think I would have the guy who played John Jameson in part 2, I would have made that character Eddie Brock and given him a big reason to hate Peter for part 3.
Oh man, that would have been good.
Mm-hmm. He's already got beef with Peter. Then he finds out he's Spider-Man. He's like, I'm going to destroy this guy. Like, the pieces are there, but Raimi famously did not like Venom. He never planned on using Venom. He liked the classic 70s, 60s characters. Venom showed up in the 80s. He didn't want to use Venom. But Venom was popular, so the studio mandated it.
Yeah, I feel like the movie definitely would have been better if Venom wasn't in it. But I wonder, like, would he still have had the black suit or no?
Probably not. I mean, without the black suit, we've already got, a compelling story. We've got Sandman killed Uncle Ben, and we've got Harry as the new Green Goblin. So either one of those makes for a good movie. I think together, I don't know. But it should have just been Harry. Like, we were building up to a Green Goblin 2. Like, he should have been the villain for the whole movie.
Yeah. And then at the end, when he like turns into a good guy and shit, I'm like, okay, whatever, dude.
Turns into a good guy because Mr. Butler has been keeping his mouth shut for quite some time. He could have solved that problem day one.
Yeah. Yep.
The second he's like saying, Spider-Man's going to pay, Bernard probably should have been like, no, it was your dad. He did it.
Mm-hmm.
So much heartache, so much grief could have been spared. I love that Harry doesn't like say that. He's like, really? You like 5 years? You just keep your mouth shut? Oh, that's great. Spider-Man 2 was a colossal hit, grossing $789 million on a budget of $200 million. And this is back in 2004 when that was a very successful film. I know it didn't hit $1 billion, but films used to be successful before that. It was nominated for 3 Oscars at the 77th Academy Awards, winning one for Best Visual Effects. It was also up for Best Sound Mixing, which it lost to Ray, and Best Sound Editing, which it lost to The Incredibles. But Spider-Man 2 is the first Marvel movie ever to win an Oscar. So pretty sweet.
Damn.
Yeah. Has not I think the only 2, Black Panther and Black Panther Wakanda Forever, are the only other 2. Marvel does not win a lot of Oscars.
Do you think Across the Spider-Verse will win one?
Oh, sure. Into the Spider-Verse also won one. Never mind. But
for best animation.
Oh yeah, it's without a doubt.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Pixar could do whatever they want. They're not going to win this. They're not going to beat this.
No. Like I was watching. I saw it a second time, and watching the trailers that they show before. They got Elementals coming up. They got that weird Kraken movie coming up. I'm like, these fucking movies don't stand a chance, dude.
Yeah, that teenage Kraken movie is odd.
Yeah. A trailer that I'm pumped for though is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That looks good.
Mutant Mayhem.
The animation looks cool. You have to admit.
It does. Yeah, it does. As we've established with the episode we did a long time ago and will release in August, I don't give a fuck about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Oh man. Yeah, that's fair.
The film Spider-Man 2 has an IMDb score of 7.4. Rotten Tomatoes score of 93%. Critics' consensus reads, boasting an entertaining villain and deeper emotional focus, this is a nimble sequel that improves upon the original. Nimble, odd choice of words, but you know what? Sure. It is a great movie. It's considered one of the greatest comic book films ever made. It set the bar.
Yeah, I agree. I know. I think I've said that I don't agree that The Dark Knight is as amazing as it gets credit for. I think Spider-Man 2 is better than The Dark Knight. I think that's just me. It could be my own bias of loving Spider-Man, but it's so good.
I'm constantly in the middle of a torrid love affair between Spider-Man and Batman. I don't know who I love more. Today it's Spider-Man, tomorrow it might be Batman.
Yeah.
I just love all of it. I just enjoy that I get access to all of this great content.
Yeah.
Life's fun when you go to the buffet, try some shit.
Exactly.
Yeah. With that, let's give this film some awards. This is going to be really fun. Okay. We have the Quentin Tarantino Award for the best line of the film, the Thomas Newman Award for the best music moment, the Philip Seymour Hoffman Award for the best performance, and the John Carpenter Award for the best scene. So why don't you start us out with your Tarantino best line? What do you got?
Best line. So I was going to go with, I think, probably the most famous line from the movie, the power of the sun in the palm of my hand. But after the context of all three Spider-Man movies and No Way Home and everything, the last line that Doc Ock says in the film, he says, "I will not die a monster." And then he, sacrifices himself and he starts, drowning. That line, dude, that line is so fucking good, especially now knowing what I know. He doesn't die a monster. He redeems himself. That's such a powerful line. Even the line on its own, him sacrificing himself and saying that, it's such a good line. It's my favorite line in the movie.
Nice. I do love the moment in No Way Home where Toby gets to meet Octavius again, and the line exchange is similar to their first meeting, where how you been, trying to do better, like so great, so great. No Way Home is a testament to what you can do with a film, really. It took a while for me to realize in this movie, because I saw this when I was a kid, and I was just like, Doc Ock's the bad guy. What are you doing? You grow up and you're like, no, he's mentally split by the artificial intelligence that took over his brain, and now he's finally in control again. This is Otto talking, not Dr. Octopus.
Yeah.
Which is funny because every villain of the Sandman is the only villain of this franchise to be completely in control of his own actions.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Because Goblin, Osborn's corrupt, like possessed by this weird evil force. Ock is controlled by the tentacles. Eddie's poisoned by the Venom symbiote.
Yeah.
Harry's, been misled. Sandman's like, oh, I got sand powers. I'm going to rob some shit.
Yeah. He's the only villain that isn't a psychopath.
No, he's actually just, he has a lot of pain and regret and guilt, and he just wants to help his daughter. It's actually a pretty good character.
Yeah. He's a small-time thug who gets incredible power.
Yeah. In the comics, Sandman gave up a life of crime and joined the Avengers.
Did he really?
At one point. Yeah. Pretty cool. I like that. Yeah. I wonder, like, in a world where, you can create performance enhancing gas that turns you into a super powered psychopath, a scientist builds artificial intelligence as just get past a roadblock so he can make a mini sun. Like, he completely glosses over the fact that he just, oh, by the way, I had to build artificial intelligence first.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like saying, and the machine gives you cancer, so I had to cure that before I went ahead and went further. It's like just ignoring all these giant ass breakthroughs. But in a world where that's possible, and a guy can like get, biologically, like molecularly, I feel like I'm saying that wrong.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't. Doesn't sound right, does it?
No.
Molecular, whatever. Fuck it. Turns into sand.
Yeah.
You think you could cure any disease,
Yeah. Yeah.
like easily,
Mm.
but I guess they're not rich enough. What I would have done with Sandman, trying to get his daughter healthy at the end of the movie, I would go really quickly over to Harry and say, like, hey, write me a check before you die. Write me a check. I gotta help this guy. I gotta help this guy.
Oh man.
Because I bet you Harry did not change his will before he went over to help Spider-Man, because Peter's getting nothing.
Yeah, Peter isn't getting shit, dude. No.
You know who's getting everything? Fucking Bernard.
Yeah. Bernard MVP right there, though.
All right, so good line. I will not die a monster. It is. I love a good self-sacrifice, even though you fucking did this, Otto.
Yeah.
Would that work though? Could you just drown the sun like that? I feel like that wouldn't work.
No, not at all.
Nah.
Like there's still a sun at the bottom of that river.
Yeah, like I've used magnets underwater.
Yeah, that part of the river is off limits.
Yeah, just like biohazard. Like, how are they gonna? It's still there. Like in Spider-Man 3, it's still there. Just no one's talking about it. They didn't win this movie.
No.
Should have launched that fucker into space or something. I don't know. There was no other solution.
They didn't have Iron Man, so
they did not. Could have strapped it to a goblin glider and just put it on autopilot.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I went with something a little funnier. Little Jameson. That guy has the best fucking lines in this entire franchise. I love J. Jonah Jameson. It's towards the beginning of the movie where Peter's trying to sell some photographs of just like, the lighter side of New York. And Jameson's like, what is this crap? Like, I want pictures of Spider-Man. And they're like, we need a page one. And he's like, all right, here's your page one. Food poisoning scare, Sweep City. And Hoffman chimes in, some food got poisoned. And Jameson's like, I'm a little nauseous. Yeah. I just love the delivery and his like commitment to journalism right there. Like, just fuck it. We'll make up a food scare. I just love that. Like, I'm a little nauseous. Yeah, sure. Fucking love that. Yeah. Funny stuff. I really like Aunt May's speech about like the hero inside all of us that inspires Peter to get back on the horse.
Yeah.
A lot of people interpret that scene as Aunt May basically telling Peter, like, I know it's you.
So stop being a little bitch. Put on the mask.
Yeah. Like, come on. I feel like as soon as he disappeared in the bank, she caught on because she never is like, why did you leave me in the bank?
Yeah. She definitely knows. And then I also think his doctor knows. Just the way he was like, oh, your friend's having dreams about being Spider-Man. Okay.
Thank God for doctor-patient confidentiality.
Yeah.
But yeah, also all those people on the train who are, you can never do that scene today because everyone had their fucking phone out being like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Remember when we used to have some goddamn humility?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I the more I watch this, the more I'm like, yeah, Aunt May knows, but she's not telling Peter, so he doesn't worry.
Does he tell her in the third movie?
No.
Yeah, then she has to know. Like,
yeah. I mean, look, if you showed up like somewhere I was and you had a mask on, but you were talking to me this close, I hope I'd recognize your voice and be like, yeah, I know it's you. Like everyone who knows Peter and is talking so close to Spider-Man, how do they not recognize his voice?
Yeah.
But that's just part of the mystery. The Thomas Newman Award, the best music moment. What do you got?
Opening credits.
Yeah.
That's it. That is such an iconic theme song.
Yeah.
And it goes on. It's pretty long, but you get the whole song. It gets every major theme in the movie in the opening credits. That's it.
I love a good opening credit sequence, and they're slowly starting to die. They're not in TV that much. They're not really in films that much anymore. I like to set the stage with, so-and-so presents a blank production. I like that shit. And props to Elfman for creating not just one, but two iconic superhero themes in his lifetime.
So fucking good, dude.
Beautiful.
You know, had great opening credits.
What?
Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah. Ah, they're still there, but now they're like an artistic gamble.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
I love the opening credits. My favorite opening credit sequence of the trilogy is Spider-Man 3. I love the addition of the Sandman theme, which I always thought was the Venom theme because of the way the black sludge or whatever is in the credits.
Yeah.
I think it works better as a Venom theme, but you know what? That's I think that really adds to the music. I did not go opening credits, but although I do love the opening credits. I went with a bit called The Goblin Returns. And it's at the end of the movie where Harry, now despondent about the fact that his best friend is the man who killed his father, starts hearing the cackle of the Green Goblin. And no matter how many times I see this movie, I get chills. And I'm just so excited because Defoe shows up and is like, hey, avenge me. And I love that. And the music starts building, and it's the familiar Goblin theme as Harry finds the material. He finds the performance enhancers, the glider, the bombs, the mask. And you're like, oh, shit. Goblin's back. It's so great. I love that music. The Goblin theme is one of my favorite villain themes of all time.
That's pretty good, yeah. Actually.
Great shit. But yeah, Spider-Man's theme is great. It's very heroic, very cool. It's got a good soundtrack too. There's some good some good needle drops in this movie, some very, sad early 2000s rock for like a lonely guy doing his best in New York.
Yeah. That scene where he's like, okay, fine, I'll be Peter Parker again. It's like that scene is so dorky when he like that montage of him just being normal and seeing all the cops run and he just takes a bite of the hot dog.
My favorite part about that whole sequence is the newspaper article that says crime up 75%.
Yeah.
How many people died so Peter could have that hot dog?
I know. Yeah.
Also, like, are the NYPD just not doing anything since Spider-Man's apparently taken over?
I don't know. So, like, crime had to go up when Spider-Man appeared, or did it just go down and now it's back to normal again? Like, how busy is Spider-Man?
I feel like the crime rate surges when the superheroes disappear.
Yeah.
So, but like when they show up, I imagine, or I don't know, maybe Spider-Man doesn't strike the fear in the hearts of criminals like Batman does. But I'd rather get punched by the guy in the bat suit than the guy who can lift a fucking house.
Did you know that? I think I told you. Spider-Man pulls his punches.
Yeah, because otherwise he'd be punching people's heads off.
Yeah, when Doc Ock becomes Spider-Man. I don't remember how it happens, but he does, and he has a moment of realization. He's like, "Oh shit, this kid is pulling his punches."
I remember the Superior Spider-Man, right? That comic arc. Yeah, I gotta read more comics. There's just so fucking many, and I have no idea where to start.
Yeah, there's a lot. I got lucky. My dad collects them, so I always stole his. He'd get mad at me every time, but I don't give a fuck.
When I was about 7, 8 years old, first grade, my mom and I moved to Frederick, Maryland, to an old Civil War era house that turned out to be really haunted. But yeah, that's a whole other story. My mom got attacked by a demon in her sleep.
Oh my god, what the fuck? Hold on. Let's talk about
I found that shit out later. She didn't tell me at the time. I found out like, we moved out soon after that.
Holy shit.
Found out the place used to be a goddamn Civil War hospital.
Oh my god, dude.
Like, I remember seeing shadows in my room and being afraid to sleep looking towards the left side of the room. I always had to sleep looking at the window, and I don't remember why. I just remember I had to.
Oh, fuck that, man.
But anyway, where this is going, in the basement, when we moved in, we found like 6 giant boxes of comic books.
Oh, man.
So that became like the foundation of my comic collection. I have a big comic collection. I just have never read them.
You weren't worried that the comics are also haunted?
I mean, I have seen weird shit every place I've lived in. So that's the only thing I've really kept from that house. So maybe that would explain a lot. Oh shit, I haven't thought about that. Cool. So next, the Philip Seymour Hoffman Award, the best performance. Who wins the movie?
Um, I was gonna say J.K. Simmons, but solely due to the fact that he is in almost every Spider-Man thing now. You know, he was in the same Raimi trilogy. He was in the Homecoming trilogy. I think he's in the game. He's in everything now. I don't think that'll be fair. So I chose Alfred Molina as Doc Ock. He's one of the best villains we've ever gotten in a Spider-Man movie. And Tobey Maguire is fine, but he's not my favorite Spider-Man. I'll get into who my favorite Spider-Man is later. He's my favorite Peter Parker, but he's not my favorite Spider-Man.
Interesting. Yeah, Molina kicks ass. He was a great choice. I love his transition from respected, noble scientist to full-fledged psychopath, and you believe it. It's a great performance, and I love that he does, turn around. Mm-hmm. I did go J.K. Simmons. He's just too good. It might be the best casting of a comic book character of all time.
Yeah.
All three of these movies, he is just lights out hilarious. I wonder how much of his lines are improvised because they're just perfect.
Yeah.
My favorite one is still from the first movie. It's when he's debating with Peter about Spider-Man being a hero or a menace, and Peter's like, "You can't print that. That's slander." And Jameson's like, "It is not. I resent that. Slander is spoken, and print it's libel."
I like when he's like, I think it's in the second movie. He says, he's like, I'll give you 150. And Peter's like, no, I want 300. And he's like, outrageous, done.
I love the little, like, can you pay me in advance? And that, like, sarcastic cackle he gives Peter. You serious? Yeah. Hey, for what? Standing there?
Yeah. So good.
At the end, when like his son gets left at the altar, he tells his wife, "Call Deborah, caterer. Tell her not to open the caviar." I love the guy, but also, in the first movie when Green Goblin shows up and demands to know who takes the pictures, Jameson does not give Peter up, even though Goblin's about to kill him.
Yeah.
So right there, he shows his true colors. Like, he is a good person. He just loves being a dick.
Yeah, exactly. Because Peter was right there. He could have been like, "Oh, that guy right there."
Yeah, like no loyalty at that point. He'd like sold him like 2 photographs, but Jameson, he's not that kind of guy. He's got integrity.
Mm-hmm.
And I love when in the third one, he immediately fires Eddie for faking the photograph.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, he could have easily said, "No, I got my picture. Everyone hates Spider-Man now. I won." But he's like, "No, you did it the wrong way. You cheated. Fuck you. Get out of my building."
Yep, exactly.
He's a journalist, damn it. But then, like, when he showed up in No Way Home, he was a full Alex Jones crazy podcaster asshole. So that was a damn shame. I was hoping for more old school Jameson in No Way.
That is him in the games, right? If I'm not wrong.
I don't think it is. I remember looking that up. It's not him in the games.
Fuck, man. It sounds just like him.
It is, however, him in Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, I knew that. Yeah.
He was in there, but no, it's not in the games. It's just a very good sound alike.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
Shit.
I know. I was disappointed. I'm excited for Spider-Man 2. The game. I can't wait.
Neither can I. I'm actually playing the game now. I didn't beat it the first time it came out. I got to, where did I get? I got to like as soon as you start playing as Miles, and I stopped playing. So I have so much game left, and I don't know why I stopped.
You got that, and you've got the Miles Morales spin-off game to play too.
Yeah.
I 100%ed both because I was just so excited.
Yeah, it's so good. I'm not. It's not just because I'm like on the coattails of Across the Spider-Verse, but Miles Morales is slowly becoming my favorite Spider-Man, like very quickly. Yeah.
Well, he's certainly, a popular character now, like more than he's ever been. I'm sure he'll get his live action debut at some point soon.
He is. I just read an article today. He is getting one. He's getting a live action one, and so is Spider-Gwen.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I hope it's Emma Stone. That'd be really cool.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, nice. Tie that shit together. Everyone always forgets the Garfield movies. Like, they count too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they're not, the most popular guy at the party, but I'll talk to him.
Yeah. Fair.
The John Carpenter Award, the best scene of the movie. What's the best scene of the movie?
This was fucking hard because the whole movie is good. But I think a moment that captures the essence of Spider-Man's relationship with the city is when he's being carried after he saves the subway train. He's being carried and they set him down and like gently, and then the guy's like, oh, he's just a kid. And then he wakes up and the kids bring him his mask. I think that's the best scene of the movie.
Yeah, it really does
define
his relationship with New York. Every movie's got a moment with that. Like in the first one, it's when they attack the goblin on the bridge, and you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us.
Yeah, there was even one in the Amazing Spider-Man when all the crane people put the cranes together. Yep.
Yeah. New York loves Spider-Man.
Yeah.
They hate the X-Men though. Like,
because the X-Men fucking destroyed their city.
Yeah, right. It is weird though in the Marvel, like in the movies, because they're separate universes, it makes sense. But in the comic books, the same people who love the Avengers hate the fucking X-Men. Yeah, it's like if you're born with it, you're a monster. If you get powers later in life, you're a hero. Like what? I can't wait to see the X-Men be part of this grand design.
I don't know who I would pick to play Wolverine though. That's a hard role. And he's done, I think.
Well, he's Deadpool 3, then he's done.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. Oh yeah, fuck, I forgot he's in Deadpool 3. God damn it, man.
We get one more. My pick's Carl Urban. I think he would be a fantastic Wolverine.
He would be good. Yeah.
But I mean, it's not just Wolverine. In the comics, Wolverine was not, the face of the X-Men. Like he was part of the team. The movies made Wolverine the face of the X-Men.
Yeah.
So I'd love to see the rest of the characters get some time to shine. Like I want to see Cyclops have, more than a couple of dialogue.
Cyclops is going to be tough. Professor X and Magneto are going to be tough to cast as well.
I've heard rumors that, of course, the Deadpool 3 rumor mill is just, constantly going. But the latest one is that Halle Berry, James Marsden, and Famke Janssen are all reprising their roles in Deadpool 3. So Storm, Cyclops, and Jean Grey might all be back.
That would be pretty cool.
That would be cool. I'd love a passing of the torch kind of thing. The old team ushers in some variants of the new team or something.
Yeah, I'm sure Wolverine's in there like that because of the multiverse stuff that they're doing now.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a new Wolverine.
Yeah, this will just be, it's like the claws of yours now, bub, something like that.
Yeah.
The scene I went with is I call it the birth of Doc Ock. It's the hospital scene.
Yeah.
Where none of these doctors took a pulse, first of all. And they're just about to cut into this man. This clearly not dead man. He's still pink. Jesus Christ, people.
Yeah.
But the claws or the tentacles, the arms, whatever you want to call them, start just killing doctors. Like they just take on, they take control of Octavius's body, and it is pure Raimi. It's like straight out of Evil Dead. It is so great.
Yeah, it's
even the camera angles, everything.
Yeah. When it goes into like the camera lens of the tentacle, that reminded me of just Evil Dead, like when the vines were following people. Yeah.
When the camera zooms in on the chainsaw, it's like
exactly.
Fucking Ash right there. I got so excited.
That had to be intentional, right? Like that was
Sam Raimi. Yeah, it's his movie. He did Evil Dead. He did Spider-Man. He's not going to accidentally make an Evil Dead sequence in Spider-Man 2.
Is Bruce Campbell in Spider-Man 3?
Yeah, he's the maitre d' at the French restaurant.
That's right. Yeah.
Table for two, Pecker.
Yeah.
Cool bit of trivia. In Spider-Man 4, he was gonna reveal that Bruce Campbell was playing the same character in all three movies, and it was Quentin Beck, Mysterio.
Oh shit, dude.
Yeah, the movie was gonna open with Spider-Man taking down Mysterio. And it's Bruce Campbell. How fucking cool would that have been?
That would have been fucking dope, man.
But yeah. I just love the scene where the tentacles just kill all the doctors, and Ock wakes up and is like kind of delirious, like not really sure what's going on. Um, love that sequence. I love the first fight between Doc Ock and Spider-Man at the bank. The bank that has giant bags with dollar signs on it in the vault. I love that.
Yeah.
It's like Looney Tunes bank. Scrooge McDuck over here. But I also love that. I mean, Otto Octavius didn't get like super strength through some accident or something. He's just a guy with tentacles welded to him. So like getting punched through the bank into a parked car would probably kill him.
Yeah, and he was just like, "Oh, okay, all right, let's keep trying."
Yeah. But yeah, that's a great sequence. I love the train fight. That's so good. I love the party scene, like where Peter goes to, the celebration of John Jameson, and it's like the worst night of his life. Like,
yeah, man, his friend breaks up with him. His girlfriend's with another man getting proposed to him.
I don't know why at some point Spider-Man didn't just go over to Harry and be like, "Hey, let me explain what happened."
Yeah,
like he just lets Harry fester over this for a long time.
Even when he finds out he's Spider-Man in this one, he's not like, "Listen, your dad was evil. He tried to kill me." He was like, "Look, we don't got time for this right now. Like, say something, please."
Unbelievable. But yeah, and I just love how many bad things happen to him in that scene. Like, first off, he can't get an hors d'oeuvre because people keep snaking it from him. He can't get any good pictures because he left his lens cap on at that one moment. MJ accepts a proposal just to hurt him. Harry gets drunk and slaps him in front of 100 people. He tries to take a drink that's empty. Like, Jesus, Peter.
Awful.
Now, crazy. Any other sequences you wanted to spotlight from them? Real quick, the test, the fusion test, the first test that fries Ock's chip, that is done so well.
It really is, yeah.
Especially the death of his wife. That was so vicious.
Oh man, that was rough. Yeah, that one, and then the scene right after that when it's him realizing what he has to do now, realizing that he's evil, hearing the tentacles talk to him. I never really understood why the tentacles were evil.
I figured it out this watch, actually. I finally figured out what was going on there. So they're programmed solely to create this machine. They don't care how that has to go down. They don't care who gets hurt in the process. Their primary function is build the fusion device. So now he has to do that. And in order to do that, they have to control Ock because they can tell he's not on board. So they poison his mind, by taking it over, by being stronger than he is, and build the machine. That's all they want to do. It's all they need to do.
Oh, damn. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. AI always has a primary directive. This is it.
Oh, man, that's creepy. That's scary.
Yeah. Again, this wasn't even his biggest thing that he made that day.
It was the AI.
Yeah, fucking crazy. I love that. Yeah.
Another scene is just him throwing the glasses down when he realizes he doesn't need them anymore. I thought that was really good.
I love that Ock goes to Harry to get the tritium. Harry's like, "I'll make you a deal. Get me Spider-Man. Go find Peter Parker. He'll tell you where he is." Ock's plan is throw a goddamn car into the cafe. He doesn't know Peter's Spider-Man. He doesn't know he's going to dodge that shit.
Yeah.
Like, what was phase 2 of this plan?
Bring him back to life using AI. No.
Fucking maybe. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, great movie. A lot of cool stuff. Well, let's take a look at what Letterboxd has to say on our next segment. What's in the box?
What's in the fucking box? Give me the gun.
So Spider-Man 2 is rocking a 3.9 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Pretty beloved. That's fantastic. I have 4 reviews for you here. Some funny stuff, some interesting stuff. Let's get into it. This first one's from Wes. Here's something you don't see anymore. The opening action sequence is a guy trying and failing to deliver pizzas. It's almost incredible how Sam Raimi understands perfectly the friction between Peter Parker and Spider-Man, going to such depths to portray his turmoil that it's almost uncomfortable to watch, Even if you took out the superhero elements, you would still have a compelling drama about a young man trying to make it in the world. It's the superhero movie. 5 stars.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome. But I love that. If you take out the superhero stuff, you've got a compelling drama about a guy just trying.
You got a guy trying with a really shitty love interest.
Yeah, trying for the wrong woman. And I never thought I'd say that about Peter Parker and Mary Jane.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about the whole opening pizza sequence. I love that.
Yeah, that's so good.
Yeah. Also, there's a pizza place every 10 feet in New York City. Why do they deliver to the one 42 blocks away? Why would you
30 minutes? It's free. That's why.
Oh, sons of bitches. That is why. Yeah. Assholes. I was in my head, I'm thinking no one would ever do that. That didn't even occur to me that somebody would do that. But fuck.
Yeah. But now you're not allowed. Now they have location, and they're like, oh no, you're too far.
Which is probably a good idea. 29-minute guarantee. Also, you have one delivery guy?
I know.
Yeah. I have so many holes about the pizza thing, but just give the guy a break. You ordered 8 pizzas. He shows up like a couple minutes late, and you're just going to go, nope, it's free now. Fuck you. And Peter just accepts that. He's like,
He undoes the bungee cord. He's like, okay. There's a pizza mini game in the Spider-Man 2 game.
I know. I had that as a kid. I found it at Goodwill recently, actually. I'm going to play it again soon. I remember that. I remember hating that, every time you flipped, the pizza would get a little ruined.
Yep.
So annoying. I love that the entire cast voiced their characters in the game, like all 3 games, which is pretty sweet. Yeah. You don't get that a lot.
Well, even Bruce Campbell made an appearance in the first Spider-Man game, at least.
Yeah. I love, they added, Shocker, Rhino, Kraven the Hunter, Scorpion. They really went all out with those games.
Mm-hmm.
You ever played the Spider-Man 3 game?
No.
Venom's death in that game is fucking ridiculous.
Is it the same?
No, it's not. Not even close. Oh. He gets knocked off the building and gets impaled on some rebar and just kind of dies.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that shit would never kill Venom.
That's fucking wonderful, dude.
My next one is from Justin DeClow. My Spider-Man is a huge fucking loser. 5 stars.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, he is putting himself in this situation. I can empathize. The woman you love is, loves you back, but you can't be with her because if anybody found out who she was, she'd be in danger. But then I'm like I argued earlier, she's already in danger all the fucking time anyway. What's different? What would change? And also, this Spider-Man gets one villain at a time for the most part, so I feel like
that's fair.
Yeah, considering how he has he's almost killed by Sandman and Venom in Part 3. There's no way Toby Spider-Man could ever handle the Sinister Six.
No, dude. Fuck no.
Nope. I wish they'd done I wish Ben Affleck's Daredevil had shown up in one of these. I mean, he's right downtown.
It's too ambitious.
I know. For 2004, that's too much.
Yeah, I like the line though when they're coming up with names for the new villain and they're like Doctor Strange. And it's like I love it, but it's taken.
Yeah. I love that Jameson's the guy who names all these assholes.
Yeah.
Perfect. Great stuff. Next one. I forgot I put this one in here. This one's from Harlequinade. Impotence is a bitch, but at least it's not a notorious whore like MJ. 3 stars.
Oh man.
Ouch.
She's not wrong.
Also, I just want to point out so many of these reviews were just rent? Question mark. I love that guy. Ditkovich, the worst landlord ever.
Rent. I love in that third movie. He's like, rent. It's like, I'll get your rent when you fix this damn door.
My favorite rent is when Peter's like sneaking out to go to the play, and Ditkovich runs out of the goddamn bathroom with his pants down.
Yeah.
Where's my money? Oh boy. This last one's from Tati. I don't blame Harry for slapping Peter. Toby has the most punchable face I've ever seen. 4 stars.
He definitely does. Yes.
Yeah. It doesn't help that, in his personal life, Toby's got a bit of a rep.
Does he?
Oh, dude, yeah. He's got a lot of emotional problems.
Oh shit. So
yeah,
his Roland Brothers wasn't all acting then?
You ever see the movie Molly's Game?
No, but I've heard of it.
There's a character in the movie played by Michael Cera called Player X, and allegedly Player X is based on Tobey Maguire.
Oh shit.
And he's just like, he's got, gambling problem, barks orders at people beneath him, treats people like shit. He's kind of a psycho. Like, all that's based on a lot of accounts of Tobey Maguire.
Oh, so he's not nice? I thought he was nice.
Maybe he's mellowed out over the years, but around like 2007, 2008, like, yeah, he was he had a rep.
No, damn, dude.
Maybe No Way Home, Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland being such nice dudes, maybe they softened him up a bit.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeesh. All right, with that, let's rank these fuckers. There's 10 theatrically released Spider-Man movies, if you count the 2 animated ones, which of course we fucking do. And why don't you start us out? 10-1. What's the order you would put these in from worst to best?
I'm so scared to do this. I'm gonna get canceled. Okay. You want like rapid fire, or can I say a little bit about them?
Oh yeah, say a little bit. Take as much time as you want.
Okay, I'll explain my verdict. At least I think this is the order I'll put them in. I might change them after I hear yours. But right now, number 10 for me is Amazing Spider-Man 2. I think that's the worst one. I think that the Amazing Spider-Man 2 movies, he is the best live-action Spider-Man. I don't like his Peter Parker. He's too cool, but I think he's one of the best Spider-Men that we get. But yeah, Amazing Spider-Man 2, man, the villains were kind of gross. I didn't like the Goblin. Electro was cool. I just don't like that they made him blue, honestly. I liked him a lot better in No Way Home. But the only thing I think they did right about that movie, again, is Spider-Man and his suit and the death of Gwen Stacy. And that is it. Number 9 is Spider-Man 3. Again, just because too many villains. I think the jazz scene is really cringy. I don't like it. I do watch it. I do like it more every time I watch it, but yeah, no. Okay, this one I might get flack for. This one is Amazing Spider-Man, the one with the lizard. Again, I just don't like his Peter Parker, and there's better Spider-Man movies out there. Number 7. Hear me out. Number 7 is the original Spider-Man with Willem Dafoe, Green Goblin. Just because I think he's a really good Peter Parker. He's a really good Spider-Man. The Green Goblin is incredible about that movie. But I do like Tom Holland's trilogy a lot more, just because I think it's more comic book accurate. Where am I? Number 5?
It's number 6.
Number 6. Number 6 is gonna be Far From Home. Mysterio was the best part about that movie. He was so fun. He is probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite, Spider-Man villain. He was so fucking cool in that movie, dude. And I just, like I said, I think Tom Holland is the best of both worlds. He's a really good Peter Parker. He's a really good Spider-Man, and MJ too. I just wish it was still in New York, but whatever. Number 5 is Homecoming. There's introduction to an amazing, return like Homecoming. He's back in Marvel's hands, at least for a little bit. Number 4 is No Way Home. I think No Way Home is the best live action Spider-Man movie we get for Spider-Man fans. That's why it's number 4. Number 3 is Spider-Man 2, because I think it's the best live action Spider-Man for anyone, and it's just, you can watch, it's timeless. Number 2 is Into the Spider-Verse, for obvious reasons, and number 1 is Across the Spider-Verse. I think Across the Spider-Verse is just a fucking masterpiece. It is so good.
Nice. Believe it or not, we had most of those in common.
Really?
Yeah. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I agree with pretty much everything you said. Mine are just a little bit more influenced by nostalgia.
Gotcha.
So my number 10 is The Amazing Spider-Man 2. That is easily the worst Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
We didn't need a shoehorned in Green Goblin. We didn't need Rhino there for some reason. Electro, I don't know why they make him like a weird nerd first.
Yeah.
I like Electro's music. I think that's really cool. And Jamie Foxx does give a good performance. Everything just feels like so crammed into 2.5 hours. Like they could have made this 2 movies. Especially just Harry Osborn shows up one day and is like, hey, remember when we were such great friends? Like, what?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And you're going to kill Norman Osborn? Like,
yeah,
we're not going to get to see him do anything?
Exactly.
Ugh. And then they kept teasing the Sinister Six movie that Sony has had a hard on for 10 years. They're like, it's not going to happen.
No.
Number 9 is Spider-Man 3.
Okay.
Same problem. Too many villains, rush story. But it does grow on me.
Yeah.
Because the parts that work really well. But the parts that don't overshadow the parts that do.
Yeah, exactly.
I love James Brown. I fucking hate that song because of this movie. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, in the comics, the black suit does channel Peter's anger, makes him more aggressive, makes him irritable. It doesn't turn him into a jazz douche.
So, the only good defense I heard about that is because the venom feeds on what you believe is evil. That's what that version of the OG Wiz Peter Parker perceives as evil and bad. That is the only good defense I've heard about that.
So Peter's version of evil is emo haircuts and jazz music.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take it. Jesus, that's great. I also hate the convenient way the symbiote shows up. Just, little meteor hits in Central Park right when Peter Park is also in Central Park. Like, come on. You just introduced an astronaut in the previous movie. You can't connect those two.
I know. Like, have him be the one that has it. That's why he should have been Venom, dude.
Yeah, it would have made more sense. Make Eddie Brock an astronaut. And, I don't know, maybe he gets fired for drugs or something, becomes a photographer. I don't know. But they could have made more sense. Just having the suit just pop.
Yeah.
Lazy. I also don't like that they gave us a dumb Gwen Stacy.
Yeah, I like Gwen Stacy and Amazing Spider-Man a lot more.
Yeah, actually, Bryce Dallas Howard is super hot. That helps, but her character is so like non-essential to this movie.
Yeah,
it's just what a waste of James Cromwell as Captain Stacy. We see him maybe once. Yeah, there's a lot that movie does wrong. Number 8, The Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's not a bad movie. It's just not what anybody wanted.
Yeah, I can see that. I like when he gets bit. I like that train ride home. And, the person puts the bottle on his head. I don't know who would do that, but I thought that was cool. I liked the training montage. That's just me.
Yeah, the suit looks a little bit more homemade.
Yeah.
I like that. These movies never explain how Peter Parker is like a whiz kid at sewing together fabrics. Because the Spider-Man suit is a complex thing to sew.
Yeah.
I think the cast is decent. Andrew Garfield, I agree with you. He's a good Spider-Man. Just as Peter, I don't believe this guy was ever bullied or considered uncool.
He's so cool.
No, Gwen. Of course, Gwen would be into him. He's Andrew Garfield.
Yes, exactly.
Uh, Everyone else, Martin Sheen, Sally Field, Reese Ifans, Emma Stone, not bad. It's just it feels like an afterthought because for Sony it was for money. Like there wasn't really any intention to make a memorable product here. I think No Way Home retroactively made everybody really love and respect Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man more.
Yeah.
And now here's where we differ. Number 7 is Spider-Man Far From Home.
Really?
Yeah. I love all of these movies, so it's hard for me to say what's like worse than, everything's good. It's just everything else I've got is better.
Mm-hmm.
I like Far From Home. I thought Gyllenhaal was a great Mysterio. I love the way Mysterio unfolds in that movie as this like multiversal hero here to save us from elemental beings, but it's all bullshit because that's what Mysterio does. He's a bullshitter. And I love that we got that reveal. The moment where it's like, oh, that's how he's been doing this. So good. Of course the nightmare sequence where like Peter gets in that first vision is fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite Spider-Man scenes ever. Is that how? Because Mysterio doesn't have any powers in the comic books.
No, he just projects very well-made illusions.
I didn't know that. I didn't really know who Mysterio was until I knew who he was, but I didn't know anything about him until this movie. So I was the only like Spider-Man nerd in the audience who was like, "What? It's not real."
Yeah, I went and saw it with my family, and they were all like, "Wow, this Mysterio guy is really cool. Like, what a powerful guy." And I'm the only one thinking like, he's so full of shit. This is Quentin Beck he's a 2-bit lowlife who can't do anything without his fishbowl and his magic gloves. So
yeah.
When they did that, I was worried they weren't going to do that. They were going to like reinvent Mysterio as like a powerful villain, but no, when he's just like, "Ha, gotcha," I was so relieved.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's good. But it does lose some points for leaving New York and all that. Now we're gonna get controversial. Number 6 is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, number 6 is Into the Spider-Verse.
Why?
I love it. I do love it. I just love everything else more.
Oh man, what? So before Across the Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse was my favorite Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, I know.
Oh man,
I get this a lot.
What?
I have
what
no
did you
problem
like
with it.
Okay,
I like it a lot. I do like it a lot. I just like I said, everything else is better for me. I'm more partial to the Peter Parker Spider-Man.
That's fair.
That's the one I grew up with. That's the one I've always, yeah. I have no way to justify my decision here or explain it. It just feels right to me.
Yeah, that makes sense. I do like Peter Parker Spider-Man just a little bit more too. I don't know. I like Spider-Man being a mentor, or even like depressed Spider-Man in the sweatpants. Oh, that's so good.
It was really good. Number 5 is Spider-Man Homecoming.
Okay. Yeah.
When they announced that Marvel and Sony had worked out a deal and Spider-Man was going to be rented to the MCU, I was so excited.
Yep.
And then when Captain America Civil War came out and we got to see this Spider-Man, I lost my goddamn mind. I was so happy. when they're remember in the movie when, Stark's like, "I know a guy," and it smash cuts to Queens.
Yeah.
And everyone who knew what was coming was just like, "Oh my God."
I did too. I was like, "Fuck." Oh. Yeah.
So cool. And then Homecoming gives us a proper high school, just starting out Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Who takes on Michael Keaton's Vulture. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, man.
I love the scenes of just him in high school, just trying to not be Spider-Man, trying really hard to hide it and not doing a good job of it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I love MJ just stalking him the whole movie, clearly into him, just asking him all these personal questions.
Yeah.
Just his relationship with Ned is so great. It's awesome.
I have a lot I want to say about the Home trilogy because I feel like people don't like it, or they say they don't like it just to say that they don't like it. But I'll say what I have to say after you're done breaking them.
Yeah, it becomes popular, or it becomes like people like to not like popular things just because they want to sound like the smart person in the room. And I've always hated that contrarian mentality. Like, how about you create your own personality? Like, just
Exactly. Yeah.
and here we get controversial again. Number 4 is Across the Spider-Verse.
What?
Yep. Yep.
No.
All right. So, admittedly, I've only seen this once. I saw it recently. It was very good, but nostalgia wins over for me. Like there are movies that I will go to all the time that mean a lot to me, and maybe Across the Spider-Verse will be that one day. But at the moment, to me, it's just the movie I saw last weekend.
It's like the first time we see like Spider-Man 2099. He's one of my favorite Spider-Man. Like at the end of Spider-Verse,
he was so like weirdly sadistic.
Yeah, just like the first time we see him, and he like, when Gwen's, I don't want to spoil anything. I'm not gonna, minor spoilers. When she's fighting the Vulture, and he comes in, and he has that theme, dude. God, that's also one of my favorite themes of all time. That's so good.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how. I mean, clearly that character is going to get some sort of redemption arc in part 3. Yeah. I hope it's good because he's going to need some goddamn big redemption.
Yeah.
What a monster.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, Spider-Man 2.
Okay. Yeah.
Love it. Doc Ock is fantastic. It's a great emotional journey too. We've talked about it at length. Number 2, original Spider-Man 2002. This changed the game. You had Spider-Man was kind of a goofy, not taking that seriously in Hollywood character. I mean, they'd made some movies in the 70s, low budget, where it's like horrible. Yeah. And now we get a acclaimed director in Sam Raimi. We get character actors like Willem Dafoe and Cliff Robertson and J.K. Simmons like being in this movie. And it just does such a great service to all these characters and made them movie characters, like movie icons, not just comic icons.
Yeah.
And it holds up. It's fun. It's hilarious. It's exciting. It works. But the holy grail of Spider-Man movies is Spider-Man No Way Home. No one is going to top that one. I love the animated movies. I love the Raimi movies. I love all of these movies, but the fact that we even got No Way Home is still amazing to me. Yeah. The logistics that went into making that work, if anybody said no, the whole project collapses.
Yeah.
But they got everybody. They got all the villains. They got all the spider people. They got fucking Charlie Cox as Daredevil. Like everything worked. And it was so beautiful. And one of the greatest theater experiences in my life. And just such a gem of a movie that everyone was hoping we would get, but I don't think anyone was certain we were going to get. We all wanted that movie, but at the back of our mind, we were like, there's no way. Yeah. But there fucking was, and it worked, and it was amazing, and it's such a great watch, and it's the greatest Spider-Man movie of all time.
Yeah, I think I am going to change. I'll make that number 2. I'll make Into the Spider-Verse number 3 and Spider-Man 2 number 4. I'll shift it.
Okay. Yeah. It just was such a. I remember going to see it was right after Austin and I got back from LA, and we were like. I missed opening night because I was on a plane. So I spent the next day completely off social media because I didn't want any. Like, can you believe what happened in Spider-Man No Way Home? I did not want any spoilers at all. I didn't want to see a screenshot of Tobey Maguire. Nothing.
Yep.
And I managed to avoid all spoilers. I made it to the theater and I just basked. It was so wonderful. Just every moment was like, oh my God. I freaked out like 7 times.
Yeah, it's such a good movie, dude. Like
just the little moments of like on the bridge, the Doc Ock theme starts playing, a pumpkin bomb flies by, the Goblin theme starts playing, and you're just like, "Fuck, they're going for broke."
Yeah, yeah.
I might watch it tonight. I'm jazzed now.
So good. I'm lucky because Caitlin hasn't seen any of them. she hasn't seen any of the Tom Holland trilogy, so.
That'll be fun. That'll be fun.
Or the Garfield ones. I don't think she saw the Garfield ones either.
You should do like, 02 to 21 Spider-Man marathon. So that way, when she gets to No Way Home, she'll have she'll know what everything is.
Yeah, man. Okay, here's a question. Who is your favorite love interest in all the Spider-Man movies, in all 10?
Oh, it's definitely Zendaya's MJ.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's her own character who
Yes.
doesn't need to be defined by Spider-Man. She just loves him for who he is, and he loves her for who she is. It's a healthy, not codependent relationship. Two people just doing the right thing.
Yeah. Yeah, people, I don't know, people fucking shit on the Home trilogy. I don't know why, man. Like, all 3 movies were his origin story.
Yeah, and they were great.
They're so good, man. So good. People are like, oh, Flash Thompson is such a fucking, like, a douche. That's not a bully. That is a modern bully. I don't know, like, if you've been to school, recently. That is a fucking high school bully. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Bullies aren't just, beating the shit out of people in the hallways anymore. Now they're like, they're spamming their Facebook page with, insults. And that's what that Flash would absolutely do.
And then people always say, like, oh, he's fucking, Iron Man Jr., Iron Man carried the movie. But Spider-Man's mentor in the beginning was the Fantastic Four. Like, he got help from the Fantastic Four.
Okay. And this version, every version of the character is a little different. Like, this version of the character, loses Aunt May, loses Tony Stark, has to, loses his whole support system, everything by the end of No Way Home, starts fresh. This is the Spider-Man that's, the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man that New York needs.
Yeah.
And it's okay to be a little different. It's okay.
Exactly. That's the point. That's the point of Spider-Man. That's the point. That's why there's so many. That's why Spider-Verse is such a big concept and why it's so popular. That's why there's so many different versions of them.
I don't recall, I don't think these people are saying the same thing about there being a T-Rex Spider-Man just walking around.
Yeah.
Like, that's totally okay, but a Spider-Man mentored by Iron Man, that's too much to comprehend.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just let people enjoy things. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
All right. Who's your
Web Slinger, the gun, the cowboy one? He's fucking cool, man.
I love that his horse had a mask too.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite villain of the movies?
That's tough. Mysterio's up there for sure, but so is Vulture, honestly. I don't know, man. It could just be because I didn't like Fisk. That's the one thing I didn't like about Into the Spider-Verse. I didn't care for his whole thing. 2099 doesn't count. He's not a villain, I don't think.
Probably to me he is, but I guess the Spot is the official villain of the movie. So.
Yeah, I don't think he's definitely an antagonist, but he's so like hell bent on doing the right thing, he like ignores the right thing. You know what I mean? I don't want to spoil too much, but
yeah, I got you. So Doc Ock
or Mysterio, yeah, for sure.
Nice. For me, because he totally dominated 2 movies 20 years apart, it's Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin.
Yeah.
That's just perfect casting. And I love that they approached him for No Way Home and was like, hey, we're doing this super Spider-Man project. We'd love if you did a cameo. And he's like, I want to be the main villain and I want to do my own stunts. And they're like,
really?
Sure. That's what happened. Yeah. He was like, they approached him to have a minor role. And he's like, I loved playing the Goblin. I want to do it again. I want to be the main bad guy. And I want to do as many of my own stunts as possible. He's in his like 70s.
Yeah.
60s or 70s.
I think you're the one that told me. What was it that he did? He tried to fit into a costume, but his dick was too big.
Oh boy. There's a movie, I think it's called Antichrist, where he plays like a guy who gets there's a scene where he gets his like junk destroyed with a rock or something like that. And they needed to put a stunt dick on him or something like that, but the one they had didn't fit over his real dick because apparently Dafoe was packing heat. And everyone found out due to that story, and he didn't refute it because why would you? And it just explains, why the Goblin's so goddamn confident all the time.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, if that's not big dick energy, I don't know what is.
Yeah. I like the Green Goblin suit in No Way Home more than the original movie.
See, everyone had an issue with like the mask with the permanent like snarl thing on it.
Yeah,
I thought it was cool. I'm like the only person who thought that was cool.
it was cool. I just like the purple and green. He looks more like a. I guess he looks like a goblin with the thing on, but he looks older. I don't know.
Well, I think a lot of the fans were disappointed with the mask because you didn't get to see Defoe get to just
Be Defoe.
emote. So they just went with a different approach, which I like. Did you ever see the screen test for the original mask?
No. What was the original mask?
Like a thick layer of green makeup and yellow eyes. It looked so fucking weird.
Oh, okay. I'll look it up.
There's video. Look up Green Goblin's makeup screen test, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And it's Defoe under there, and he's like, like making faces. And eventually, they were like, "This isn't gonna work."
Oh shit. Okay, yeah. I'll have to look it up here. Yeah, the more I think about it, that scene with Tom Holland beating the shit out of the Green Goblin at the end of No Way Home. Fuck, man.
One of the best lines and deliveries in the entire damn franchise is in that scene where the Goblin yells at him, what is it? Strong enough to have it all, too weak to take it.
Yep.
And he just starts, oh my God. It's so perfect.
Spider-Man is that fucking strong. He could kill him right then and there.
Well, there's that moment where he does punch the Goblin and the Goblin winces like it hurt. And then he starts like smiling and cackling because he's like, oh, I can corrupt this one.
Mm.
It's perfect. That Goblin has been the worst nightmare of two separate Spider-Men.
Yeah.
So great. Got it. Yeah, I'm going to watch No Way Home.
Dude, the scene, man, when they're all in his apartment and Spider-Man has the spider sense from the other fucking room that there is a slight personality change in Norman. God, fuck.
It's all so just fantastic. Oh my God.
Okay, number 2, No Way Home. Number 3, Into the Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah. I love that we got a proper Sinister Six. And somebody pointed out that, like, no, it's only 5. It's like, well, Mysterio jump-started that shit. So he's the sixth silent partner.
Oh, the Sinister Six. Do we have all 6?
In No Way Home, we've got Doc Ock, Electro, the Green Goblin, Sandman, and the Lizard. So we got 5. But if you count Mysterio, who revealed Spider-Man's identity at the end of the last movie and pretty much started this whole thing, that's 6.
Oh shit! Yeah, that is all 6.
Yeah,
I forgot that the Sandman was in No Way Home. Shit.
He's not very. Yeah, it's cool that he's there. Him and the Lizard it's cool that they're there, but they're not very effective on the plot.
Oh yeah, I forgot the Lizard was in it. Fuck.
The 6th member was supposed to be Venom. Like, he was supposed to have a major role, but then they thought he would overshadow everything else, so they didn't do it.
Yeah, because once a Venom is in a Spider-Man movie, people are gonna want black suit.
Well, also that Venom has no beef with Spider-Man. Like, there would be no explanation of like why they're fighting.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
You need the establishment movie before you have the arch enemy movie.
Yeah, that is fair.
They had a backup plan if they couldn't get everybody on board. The backup plan was a Kraven the Hunter versus Spider-Man movie.
I was just about to say Kraven would have been a cool villain too. He's probably going to be the villain for the new movie.
He's getting his own movie.
Oh yeah, that's right. He is. Yeah.
In October, and apparently it's a hard R and is like super gory.
Oh damn.
Yeah, so they're going for it.
Who's playing Kraven?
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
I don't know who that is.
He was Kick-Ass.
What?
Yeah.
He's Kraven?
He's gotten beefier and he's got more facial hair now, so he has grown up a little bit. So I think he's a good actor. I'm interested to see what he does.
Okay.
Rhino is the bad guy.
But why is Kraven a good guy?
Because Sony really wants to make a Sinister Six movie, so they're doing like Venom, Morbius, Kraven the Hunter. Like, they're building towards something that nobody wants.
No, stop it.
Yeah,
stop it. So they're obviously going to do another Tom Holland Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, Tom Holland said they were talking about it until the writer's strike happened.
Like Daredevil has to be in it.
Probably. I keep saying I want a street crime movie where Holland's Spider-Man, Charlie Cox's Daredevil, and John Bernthal's Punisher team up to take down the Kingpin.
That would be cool. That'd be a good movie. I feel like
Yeah.
after the home trilogy, they need a more low-key threat.
Yeah, we've gotten, the multiverse was ripped open. Maybe we go back to, the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
But then I also feel like the stakes are kind of lower because like Spider-Man's like, hey, I fucking fought an alien in space. The Kingpin is just a man.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like he beat Thanos.
That is true. That's fair.
Yeah. Kick ass. Anything else you want to add before we go out here?
No, Spider-Man's fucking great.
Yeah.
That's it.
Spider-Man 2 is currently streaming on Disney Plus along with most of the other Spider-Man movies. Venom Let There Be Carnage is not there. But everything else is, including the first Venom.
The home trilogy is not. Only Homecoming.
Oh. Well, that's weird.
I don't know why, but
so the Raimi trilogy, the Amazing Spider-Man movies, and just Homecoming.
Yeah. And Venom.
And Venom, yeah. Not Morbius or Venom 2, just Venom.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't make the rules. Thanks for listening, everybody. If you like what we do, feel free to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Filmgazm Productions. If you want to suggest films for us to check out, you can email us at filmgazm@gmail.com or always send us a message through the socials. Check out our Letterboxd accounts for daily reviews. You can search me at Connor95, and in my friends list, you can find the rest of the team. Check out our website, filmgazm.com, where I have a link to that letterbox if you want to read reviews, and you can also find articles, trailers of upcoming films, and every episode of our show. If you'd like to become a monthly donor to Filmgazm Productions, feel free to click on the link in the episode description. From there, click on Support This Podcast. You can choose to donate $1 a month, $5 a month, or $10 a month, and we appreciate any donations that you think we deserve. Thanks to the entire Filmgazm team for their constant friendship and contributions to the show. Thanks to Cooley Cal for our awesome theme music, and thanks to you for checking out the show. Remember that balance is important in life. If you have a job to do it well, but don't let it consume you. There's always room for love and happiness. Take it easy, keep watching movies, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.